Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of It's Me, Not You. How is everyone doing today? Hi, Melissa.
Hello, fabulous. How are you?
I'm doing well. And Jake, how are you doing?
I am feeling fly and gorgeous this morning. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. So, I can't.
This
So
is the
today,
problem when we want to talk about raising your vibe. We all get giddy.
I
yes.
love it.
So for today's episode, it's all about the ways in which we try to raise our vibes, how we kind of lift ourselves up. And we may have some funny ways in which we raise our vibes, and we may have some unusual ways. I'm going to start with Melissa. Melissa, what are some ways that you yourself raise your vibes?
Well, I have a lot of different ways in the morning. It's coffee to start with raising my vibration. It's how I get grounded and centered. But I do, it's depending on what I'm doing for the
Yeah.
day, where my vibration's at, whether it's hydrating, making sure, eating healthy, crystal bowls, and sometimes just a timeout.
Time out. What's time out?
Time out is when I have to go into my little shamanic cave and people and just kind of hide to bring myself back to center. Because I think, sometimes without realizing it, we give so much of ourselves away to others or to the spirit world that I do have to spend more time in the human world. And kind of put myself in a small timeout.
Jake, what about for you? What are some ways? Let me ask you a different question before we get into how you raise your vibes. Jake, why is raising your vibes important?
For a lot of different reasons. I think that raising your vibes is really essential for before you even set up to do work. Starting off the day, I think is so essential to raise your energy, just so you can really step into the day best foot forward and really feeling very centered, but also really empowered, in the place that you are. And I think that when you have your energy high or your vibrations are high, it really kind of helps you feel not swayed by whatever it is the day kind of throws at you, helps with the rebound at the end of the day, I think.
Nice. What are some ways that you raise your vibes?
So I really love to use comedy to raise my vibes. I love to just binge like comedy specials or just like really silly comedy shows.
Okay, wait,
Um,
hold on. What is one of your favorite comedy specials?
I know it's talking about raising your vibes, but I will say that any Joan Rivers comedy special is absolutely my favorite. Um, I love a good Sarah Silverman, love a Chelsea Handler. Um,
Did you watch her new one on
I
Netflix?
haven't I
It's
haven't
so
watched new.
funny.
I've
She
been
talks,
saving it for like a good rainy day.
it's so funny. She talks about how she did not realize that the moon and the sun were two different things.
Oh my
Oh my
God, I
God.
saw a little clip of that and I really am living. So yeah, and then I even love to like binge my shows like The Essentials, 30 Rock, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix, so freaking good. Um, just silly stuff. You got to take life not seriously.
Yeah.
That's the best way for me personally. That is like my day one way that I've been doing it ever since I started this. Um, which is probably why I use comedy a lot in my sessions to kind of break up the energy, move it around very strategically.
Mhm.
There's a rhyme and a reason behind it. So yeah, absolutely comedy. I do also love to listen to, every once in a while I'll do like shamanic drumming. I also am a sucker for they're called lo-fi beats, which
Ooh.
is like hip hop radio just without any lyrics. So it's just a beat and a melody. Um, and you can like find like live streams of that like on YouTube or even on like Apple Music, just to have music to fill the air.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially raising my vibes is like low key channeling, but without intention, if that makes sense.
Right.
Sometimes it's nice to just plug in your power cord and just be like, all right, let me just charge a little bit.
Do you have a song that you'll use like before you get ready for a session that really gets you kind of in that high vibe?
You know what? I always will listen to um I listen to early Tina Turner. Um so I will usually do like River Deep Mountain High. Um let's see. Ooh,
I do
really
drop
any of
kick.
them. Ooh.
Shipping up to Boston is usually like my song to get me there. I'm sure people think I'm listening to the ultimate ohm and I'm rocking out in the car.
Yeah, my music, it's usually Tina. It could even be a little bit of Beyonce too. Love her new album. But yeah.
What about you, Rachel?
For me, it depends, I think, like you guys, what am I doing?
Or
Where
your
am I?
song? Do you have a song
Oh, a
like that you'll
song?
listen to
Oh,
get jammed up or
it
get going?
depends on what I'm doing again. So
Mhm.
I will be honest, it's funny that you brought up Tina Turner. So right now I've been listening to the best Tina Turner, like the song The Best.
Yes.
Song jamming out on my way into work. It just gets me happy, gets me upbeat. I like listening to Chicago. I love anything with a good drum beat, like Queen. I also like Nine Inch Nails, like anything that's gonna get me "Rah!" and I can clear the energy and get pumped up and energized. I'm down for that, especially when I know that I'm going to be doing a lot of sessions. Then I'm like, I feel like I got to energetically kind of move that energy. And I love hard rock sometimes, but then I'll be like, I need some nice calming chants, or I need some Hertz music, or it depends whatever mood. I listen to Holy Harmony a lot. That's just like I think it's like 50 minutes, Holy Harmony. That's on Apple Music, it's on iTunes, wherever. Every
Mhm.
session I play that song. So that kind of just gets me in my zone. We're all like so
Love
jammed.
that.
Listen, our vibrations are super high and we're just super excited. But I do want to kind of talk about is why we feel like higher vibrations are important. And I know we kind of mentioned that. And I do think it helps us to shift out of when somebody kind of comes at us or we're having a moment. I do think because we've got good practices in place, we're able to kind of shift out of that mood quicker because we do keep our vibrations higher. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, for me personally, like the whole like raising your vibration is, yeah, on one end of it is for kind of preparation for work or even to discharge from the rest of the work that you've been doing, decompress from it, but also like in work, whether that be sacred ceremony, whether that be a healing session, it's kind of like hooking yourself up to a generator
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can tap into who you're looking for, so you can jump tracks if other energies come in. It's a lot of orchestrating on our end. It's like we're like this receptionist in spirit and we have to like delegate who's coming through in what order. I mean, think about it. In session, you could be talking to somebody, and then there's also three other people that are also trying to talk to you, but you have to coordinate with your peeps in spirit, organize all of that.
Yeah.
It's a whole little thing. It's kind of like the waiting room in Beetlejuice. Once
Oh
you
my
Yes,
just,
that's a
gosh.
great example. Yes.
you
Oh my
know,
gosh, the guy with the cigarette. I'm trying to quit myself. I
and there's
have that
always a guy
figure.
with a cigarette next to you.
I
That's
have
what I'm
that
saying.
figure. I do.
So that's kind of what it's about for me. When you raise your vibration and you plug into that energy, it just gives you this unlimited resource. And
Mhm.
also, it kind of ensures that you don't burn yourself out,
Yeah.
mid session. For a lot of people, when they start out, for a lot of people who are learning energy work or learning psychic readings, anything like this sort, it's really easy to feel so completely burned out, even after like a 20-minute session.
Mhm.
But I will say for everybody, it really is a muscle. It is a muscle that you grow and it's a muscle that you tone, that you feed, and it
Yeah.
gets bigger over time. And then after a while, you start to know your limits. You get a feel for, okay, I can do this for this period of time, or I know that after this or during this circumstance, I've got to step back and I've got to have a little snack, or I've got to have a little jam session in between.
Yeah.
You just start to know yourself. But I think the easiest thing to do, take a breath, ground yourself, and listen to your body. What is your body telling you? What do you need?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think to Melissa's point, she was talking about how she eats healthier, she exercises, she tries to, move her physical body. And I think sometimes, like, I know that I need to do better with that, with drinking more water and eating healthier. But sometimes I feel called to go get Burger King, and that helps me to feel better. Or if I eat some candy or some junk food. And I guess my point is, I don't want anybody to feel bad if they're not. I'm this perfect vessel of
We're not all just
everything
eating kale and
clean, and I'm perfect. Like it just not it's not a realistic expectation. And I think I've looked at it. Somebody, have you guys heard this term spiritual materialism?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like I'm the perfect yoga lady, and I've got my beautiful glass water bottle and my kale smoothie, and you're presenting as this perfect spiritual being, but are you truly doing the spiritual practices within?
Mhm.
I think that's interesting. Melissa, I'm sorry, you were going to say something.
No, I was just
You want a
commenting
kale
about the
smoothie?
kale
Is that
too. Like we don't just eat kale to stay in high vibe. But I do think kind of with what Jake said too, there's a daily practice
Yeah.
of high vibe. I open my morning with just kind of like opening ceremony for the day. And then you have the middle, and then there's a lot of gratitude at night for what the day brought me to kind of close down a little bit. So my dreams are better, or if I'm going to do dream work that night.
Yeah.
And then during the day, depending on what I'm doing too, it's cyclical. Like I won't be at the same vibration for a reading as I would to do my daily work,
Yeah.
or for me too, if I'm connecting with people's loved ones on the other side, that's a different vibration than if I'm hitting angels or ascended masters. Like they're much higher for me, that I have to be, really up. And if I'm really up, I have a hard time seeing the loved one. So I kind of have to like twist my dial a little bit to jump back and forth. And that also depends on the person's energy coming in. So I will set up crystals of where they sit to raise their vibe, because I need their vibe up to lift my vibration. So it's like I have to lift up, spirit has to drop down a little bit, and we meet in the middle for communication.
Mhm.
Can you tell if a client is coming in and their vibration is lower than you need them to be at? Like, how can you tell that?
Well, spirit gave me this, but I light my candle, and I always use a match. And when I light the match, the fire will start to tell me what that person is going to be like. And if it's a low burn, it's like, oof, I got to go get a bigger crystal out to like get it going and try to amp up.
Yeah.
So I'll have like blue lace agate or some other ones kind of around where they're sitting. Or I distract a little bit with like, oh, how's your day? One, to hear the energy in their voice, but just to get them to relax.
Yeah. How about for you, Jake? Can you tell if a client's coming into that you got to kind of raise up their vibe a little bit?
Yeah, I can usually get a sense of it, like, before they step in. I'm really pretty good with taking the temperature of when I come in to do some work, so I'll kind of get an idea of what it looks like. Um, so I usually like to use my crystals. My kind of favorite is I'll bring either Herkimer diamond, or I'll bring like a Lumerian quartz,
Oh, nice.
and then I'll with like a black tourmaline or a smoky quartz. My theory, it's like Herkimer diamond to like really overshot the energy, and the smoky quartz like pull it back a little bit should I need to.
Nice.
You know.
I like that.
I do love a good Beta Morian quartz. However, that is like it will really do much of everything for you. You know.
The
But
beta
yeah,
or
working with
Mary?
crystals usually does the job for me. But like I said, also getting a little giggle out there too
Oh.
will definitely do the job too.
Melissa and I are both being smartasses right now as Jake is
I know, we all
all
have
the crystals, and we're like, oh, a beta, oh, a Lemurian, oh, okay.
Yeah. What about you, Rachel? What do you do to like raise your vibe
Good
or kind
question.
of get ready?
That's a good question. What I do, I also have good daily practices. When I wake up in the morning, I do give a lot of gratitude. Thank you, God, for allowing me to wake up. I give thanks for kind of everything that I have. When I'm driving to work, Jake's like, I'm out of here, guys. When I'm driving to work is actually where I spend a lot of time. Like I ground myself. I'm like, thank you for the trees, thank you for the beautiful sunrise, and I feel very grounded and uplifted. And then I jam out to music. I sing. I remember one time when I used to work in assisted living, I had a meeting and my boss came in. He's like, I saw you this morning and you were dancing in your car. And he was making fun of me. It was like, hey, I was having a great time. I think I was jamming out to Beyonce. I was like, yeah, like, because you want to like just raise the vibe and have fun. And I don't know about for you guys, but I know me, I can tend to be too serious and too like, gotta do this, gotta be proper, gotta be polite. And
I know nothing about that.
but you know what I mean? With all the responsibilities that we have, and sometimes I forget that I need to be more playful and have more fun. And I think my car is that safe space to really turn up the music. I'm by myself, and and really jam out. Another thing that I do, and this is something from Melissa, is that I sweep my house. Like I sweep my house, I clean it out, I, you know, sweep things out the doorway, I take my sage, I spray it, I light candles, and I really try to also set the energy of the house. And I also call in the angels. Like whenever I get scared too, I'm like, angels, please guide me, protect me, surround my property, my doorways, my mirrors, my everything. And I feel better. It helps me raise my vibes. So, I mean, I think, or eating like chocolate sometimes. If I'm in a sad mood, I might want to have a piece of chocolate, and that raises up my vibes. Really, a lot of things I think can help you to kind of pull you out of, you know, maybe anger or despair, or, you know, like and I think because of having good solid spiritual practices, and you guys call it spiritual hygiene, which I love, you know, it helps me to shift out quicker. And then I'm like, oh, it's a big deal. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, shut up. You're being too hard on yourself. Just shut up. Like you're being a
Well,
bitch.
and it
Shut up.
does, it makes a difference. Like last week driving to work, this really big semi was behind me. There was a slow car in front of me. And I was listening to one of my shamanic books on audio.
Nice.
And the guy leans out his window and just starts screaming at me.
Why?
And at
I'm like,
first,
why? Tell me why. I want to know. Tell me.
because the car in front of me was going slow, but he can't see that because he was so far into my back end of my car.
Oh.
You know, so at first my energy got like really grumpy because he's hanging out the window yelling. And then I'm like, you know what? He's having a worse day than me. Like,
yeah.
Just let it go. And I didn't even send it back. I just put up my little shield and asked for it to be transmuted. No, I wanted to send it back. That would be very nice though. So yeah, thankfully I was doing my high vibe where I didn't get mad. It didn't ruin my day. And you know, so I do think, and one of the things in the protection class that we did that I found really interesting with vibration is we sent love like back and forth to feel it. And then we send nice jealousy because I want people to feel like a little prickly, like, oh, you know, Rachel, I love your shirt.
I know, it's amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So then when I did that, I would have people be in like a place of love. And what was interesting is when somebody was trying to send the like nice jealousy, they got really tired quick and they had to stop. So it was neat to see how you can shut something down by not engaging in it. So your vibration is so high that you're kind of neutralizing the lower vibration.
I do want to talk about really quickly, you guys both use crystals to raise the vibe. And I'm going to go into scientific knowledge right now.
Ooh.
Melissa, the biologist, will understand this. So when I became a certified crystal healer, the reason why they say that crystals are so amazing is that they actually, because they don't break down. So as humans, we have entropy and we break down, but crystals never do. So the crystal actually will help to raise your vibration up to the same vibration of the crystal that it's emitting. So I think that's what's so cool about crystals and why they're so powerful. Anyway.
And it also goes into the structure of the crystal.
Excuse me, and it's my science moment,
and the
not
electrons
yours.
that are being emitted. I will science with you any day in the spiritual realm. I know Metatron is so proud right now.
Jake's like, I'm done. You guys annoy me. I'm done. I'm out.
I love it.
I'm sorry, Melissa, go ahead. I'm just messing with you. Melissa.
No, I'm just saying like Metatron's so happy right now that we're getting into the whole geometry of life.
It's important. I think people should know.
Well, and if you really get into it, you know, with your secret crystals and there's a whole bunch.
Whoa. What is a secret crystal?
A seeker.
Oh, I thought you said a secret. I'm like, I don't know about these secret crystals. Tell me.
Seekers.
Oh, I do have seekers.
Yeah, well, it's all based on it is on the geometric structure of the crystal and how it's created. But
let's talk about the keys and the Lemurians.
Oh yeah, did you figure your keys out yet?
No. So Melissa likes to tell me I got to find keys in my soul. Anyway, we're getting off topic. I found out one. I know one. Anyway, going on. What else do you guys do to raise your vibrations? Jake Paul.
What do I do to raise my vibrations?
Ignore you, Rachel. Mute you.
I take a fish oil. I don't know. That's pretty good for circulation.
See, this is the problem with us trying to raise our vibration. We're just so giddy. And do you find that it is hard when your vibration's high to think? or to
100%.
like when you're
Well,
really
because you're
connecting.
bouncy and you're having
Yeah.
fun and you don't want to be serious. Like I take a multivitamin and I make sure to think
But
my
it's true, it does help. We have to take care of our vessel because, you know, to me, that's being the medium is my vessel is important. The message is spirit.
yeah.
I'm just the mediator of it.
Oh,
But
Jake's got a point. Here he goes.
I will say, okay, so it just dawned on me. I needed a minute. So I will say that using like affirmations are such a big one too.
Yes.
Shout out to my hotties with anxiety and depression. I think that affirmations are such a good reminder, especially when you have a hard time. You know, some days you're just battling that little ego goblin a little bit more than other days. So you have to be like, you know what? I am in such good energy today.
Yes.
I'm going to smash this session. And, you know,
Yes.
I really think that throughout the years, using affirmations and being so kind of dedicated to doing that, even on the days that you fall off, I find myself being able to just kind of do it subconsciously. Like even when we're sitting right here, if I know that I have a session right after this, I can kind of do it in the background of my head and be like,
Yeah.
okay, I've got this. We're good. We're killing it. We're awesome. You know, it's going to be a great day. And then you just find yourself slipping into that good energy. And I think that that just kind of speaks to the nature of building good habits, building a good foundation, so you can rely on it later on. But
Totally
also
agree.
even just as we're chatting, when we're talking about kind of that jamming out in the car, singing along to songs, I've always just kind of had this long running theory that it's really engaging that throat chakra, you know, especially for us healers that are doing the channeling work and having to speak it out loud. It's number one, engaging the throat chakra, but also too, at the same time, it's kind of like tricking your brain into just going with flow, you know, flowing with whatever's coming out of you and speaking it out loud, you know, so that's the process. And I find that that also helps a lot of my clients that I do workshops with kind of get over that little hump about being like, oh, I don't know if that's the message, if that's really the message. Should I share this information? Is this the right time? All of that stuff. I really find that like jamming out in the car, jamming out to yourself, singing your favorite song really helps kind of jump through a lot of those little hurdles.
Yeah.
That's kind of my little psychological theory there.
Psychological. I will say, Jake, I thank you for bringing that up. Affirmations are so, so, so important. And that's something I work with probably every single day is affirmations. And I write them out. I have them on my notepad. I have them everywhere. And I always look at if I really want to manifest the life of my dreams, like what is it that I really see my vision out from a couple years from now? And then what is my next divine line action? And then when I find myself feeling, oh, I can't do it, I can't cancel. You know, when we get into that negative, then I got to raise up my vibes. I look at my affirmations and then I feel this, oh, yes, that's my purpose.
Mhm.
so one of kind
You
of
want to
goes
see my
with
list of
that.
affirmations? Go ahead, Melissa.
No, so I was reading recently affirmations and visualizations
Oh,
that
yeah.
affirmations feed your mental self and visualizations feed the soul.
Yes.
So in order to really have something have impact or be profound,
You gotta visualize
it's
it.
kind of using
You got to
both.
feel it too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really the third level, is feeling that emotional part of things. And then I do my New Year's deal for my birthday because it's like my new year. I don't like to celebrate with everyone else. I like my own day. So one of the things that I do is I will write down like what is everything from the past year that I was passionate about that really made me happy. And what are some of the things that I learned, like writing it in a positive way. So then when I do get down as well, or I go to my book, like, oh yes, this made me happy. Because it is hard to remember, like, oh, I don't want to do anything. I'm feeling ick, you know. But when you have a list to go to that you wrote yourself, it makes it easier to step back into alignment, because we all get adjusted, you know. I mean, we have our spiritual chiropractors. I know when I see Angel Joe Fiel, it means I need to get out of my own way. She starts yelling at me. So
I mean, I will say you brought up a really good thing. I have been doing over the last couple of weeks is kind of looking at what was the best thing about last year. What am I not bringing into this new year? What energy am I not allowing to bring into this year? And it's kind of shifted my focus for, you know, I want to keep my vibrations high. I want to be a clear vessel. I want to really have the best year ever. And then every year from there, just continue to have best year, best year, best year, best year.
Which Happy New Year, by the way. Happy Chinese New Year.
Happy Chinese New Year. It's a
The rabbit.
rabbit. Anything else you guys want to add in before we wrap up this fabulous podcast episode? We all look so serious.
I know. You're making us think now.
I know, I had to go scavenging in my brain.
Go raise your vibrations.
Yes, raise your vibrations. Find what way works for you, whether that's affirmations, crystals, music,
Oils.
dancing,
Yeah.
oils. Hey.
Hey. I mean, honestly, I really think like, and if anyone has like, send us a comment. This is how I raise my vibrations. We're open to learning new ways of, you know, keeping the vibes high. We always want to be love or above, and I'm open for new ideas.
Yes.
Absolutely.
A pool of ideas. Let's put it out there.
Let me tell you about our crystal healing pool. I'm going to take you guys to later. Well, thank you everyone for listening to another episode, and you guys all have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.